I don't know. I feel like I'm getting caught up on stuff around the shop, so it's a good feeling.
Hey, cars!
We got a bunch done on the 66 Mustang too. Uh, just basically final mock-up on the brakes and figuring out routing for brake lines, getting parts ordered for that. And sometimes like going through Willwood part numbers makes you want to pull your fucking teeth out. Like they have an easy way to do it sometimes, but uh, just trying to figure out for what we have here, ordering like the few small pieces we need. It's just kind of Willwood brakes are they're nice, but they're their own like when you're not used to putting together Willwood set of brakes because the caliper brackets are part of the in the back are part of the parking brake
Okay.
like bracket. So it's like all integrated. So if you don't have like if you're looking at it without the parking brake stuff installed, you're like, this isn't gonna work. It was kind of like it was a learning process. I've never put together Willwood brakes before, so we're
It's a
finally
lot of
getting the
parts.
rear end of shit. It's not too bad. It's just it's not it's not OE stuff, you know. It's not like sometimes the aftermarket stuff's just not exactly built like OE, like a guy would be used to. So
Yeah, I can see that.
different believers. But the guy with that 67, this coupe car, it's like the nicest. There's not, we took the engine out, engine's right here. So if anybody wants a 6 cylinder 200, it's it's sweet. Come and get it. It's free. But it's the nicest car. I didn't have to I didn't have to cut one thing or break a bolt or anything. Like everything just came up. That's pretty crazy. Pretty nuts. The hardest part about taking the car apart was um, the all the glass is original, and the urethane they use around the rubber window before they snap the chrome in was like hard as a rock, so it wouldn't let the chrome let loose. Like it just wouldn't release the clips or whatever. So that was a bugger, but dude, it's such a nice car, and he's got some cool ideas, like really cool ideas. I thought he kind of wanted a road race or like road America type car, which that's kind of where the way it's going, but he was going a little more race car than I had than we kind of originally talked, so it's kind of cool. I mean,
That does
a
tend to
race.
happen.
It's not going to be like a full blown race car by any means, but he does want to take it around the track and actually have uh like just a pedal selection. He showed me. I was like, oh, that's like race car shit. That's pretty cool. And then he wants to do which I thought was kind of a neat idea. Um, he's seen a couple cars that are under the hood and underneath on the bottom side is all like it's not primer gray, but it's like a light gray paint, like satin paint. So if anything leaks, they can spot it right away. I was like, it's different and kind of cool. I kind of like that idea.
Hmm.
Well,
That is interesting.
yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
It's fun to do something different from time to time.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, we if we could do anything but satin black engine bay, that'd be sweet, you know, because it just makes you want to puke a little bit. I mean, it's cool. The satin black looks nice, but it's like, ugh, never fucking satin black.
I was this close to painting the Honda engine bay white,
Mm.
and then I
And
was
then,
like,
yeah,
I probably should just do myself a favor and not go white. It looks
I mean,
cool.
one of those things when you're doing a color change, you want to make sure it's prepped really good. So if it ever like starts to fall apart a little bit, it doesn't look like total shit either. Like some of it is that.
Yeah, I decided I'm just gonna go gloss black because if I'm actually gonna drive it or whoever gets it's gonna drive it, it's like
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd be a lot happier, rinsing off some black than trying to constantly keep white clean.
Yeah. It'd be different if if you weren't gonna like drive it and stuff, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that nice. It's not gonna be that nice of a car that it's gonna be just one you look at. It's gonna be like a funny driver.
It's all right. There's a Sebring convertible, like a mid '90s Sebring convertible that somebody's hand painted like it was like the Roadrunner and Tasmanian Devil and shit. It's like it's bad. So I mean, it'll be nicer than that. Way
It will be
nicer.
nicer than that. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be cool. I was a kid that and teenager that played a lot of Need for Speed Underground 2.
Oh yeah,
And I'm gonna make
Need for
it
Speed is really fun. Yeah.
I'm gonna make it look like a car right out of that video game, just because why not?
Nice.
I just want
You know,
to
uh,
smile when I look at it.
like some of the like the marker paint job or whatever that they do with that shit. I think that's kind of some of that stuff's kind of cool.
I thought
Some of
about
it's
doing
not.
that originally
Yeah.
because I'm fairly okay with some markers like that, but or paintbrush or whatever. But I think I'm gonna make a nice finish, like first Fast and the Furious or Need for Speed Underground 2, like that early 2000s import tuner cover car, something like that. You know what I mean? Uh,
Mhm.
just
I had
something
this
weird.
whole that kind of style paint scheme that I was going to do on my S10 when I repainted it in tech school, but I ended up doing like repainting it the same color because it was like way less work. But I had
Uh-huh.
this whole scheme plotted out. My tech teacher's like, "You really want to do that? Like you never see both sides at the same time, unless camera shot or take a screenshot. It's usually they're different anyways and shit. Anyways,
Yeah, you almost go
it didn't.
purposely asymmetrical on paint jobs like that.
Right. Hmm. But I mean, it was like the a two tone with cut by tribal and
Oh yeah.
splash this way, splash that way. Yeah, I didn't end up doing it. It probably would have been cool, but yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna do since the car is like a what do they call it? Forest green metallic. I'm gonna do like a forest green or a British racing green as my main color, so I don't have to jam it.
yeah, yeah,
Because it's just a lot for a '98 Civic to jam it, and that
yeah.
green,
That's exactly
it's okay. So I'm gonna do like a British racing green or a forest green for the main color, and then I'm gonna have a silver splash coming up the side with some green showing through it, and then layered above that a white splash kind of back behind it, and then but
nice.
coming out from between these two layers is going to be this goofy harpoon graphic that fits the body line of the car because I was
There you go.
trying to come up with something wacky like because if you look at the early Fast and the Furious cars you're like what is
They're
that
kind of
it's like a guy
yeah.
on a luge or something on the side of it and the one's like a weird rocket
It's
ship.
like an eagle fucking down the side.
Yeah, so I want to do something like that because it's like it is cool kind of but it's also like delightfully tacky, to quote Hooters.
I can see where a group of people would be like, "This is what we're fucking doing."
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm gonna make a ton of videos with like the soundtrack from the first Fast and the Furious.
Oh, I like it. I like all the soundtrack. First Fast and the Furious is pretty good shit.
Yeah, for some reason I'm gonna go really fast in a stadium parking lot and spin out and
Yeah,
then swear and hit my steering wheel.
slam your laptop shut. Ah,
Yep. There's gonna be washers flying all over the floor of the car, and
yeah.
the diamond plate floor is gonna come out.
It's like like 12 speed manual transmission.
Oh, I was thinking like 23
It
speed.
just keeps shifting and shifting and shifting. It's fun to make fun of it, but it is a good movie, I think.
When for the people our age when that movie came out, it was awesome. I don't care.
Oh yeah, yeah. I watched it all the time, all the
Yeah. I get a lot of like shakas from people when they see me in the truck, you know what I mean? Because it's like a little bit more than most sane people would do to a truck. And so I figure
time.
the Civic will kind of do the same thing. It'll just make people happy and like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Remember when we were kids and that was cool?
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee there. I mean, I just seen something on Instagram that there's like a resurgence of people that are like our age that are buying like ricers and like just because it's easy to buy a body kit and throw it together and you can make it look cool, like literally in a weekend if you wanted to,
Yeah,
which I get it.
I gotta say, I've been buying Honda parts on eBay for the last couple weeks, and it is so fun to be like, oh, I want a billet oil cap. It's $10. I want a carbon fiber CNC'd out coil cover for the top of the valve cover to cover all the coil packs.
Yeah,
$23. I bought a billet
so fun.
shifter with cables. It's like, did you see that video of my billet shifter?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
$140.
That's so funny.
It's
Wow,
like you can get all this wicked stuff for no money, and
right?
it's I don't know the billet motor mount kit that I bought for it's like $100. I mean, it's like
think
you
that
can't
I
beat it.
think the I think the hardest part you're gonna have with people accepting it is that it's a four door. To be honest with you, that's literally it.
Yeah, it and that
But I
is
mean,
what it is.
there are some people that are like, there is a whole thing that four door people just love four door cars, like because they use it for their daily, like kind of what you're doing. Like it just makes sense. But
Yeah, I didn't want that car. I actually wanted a 1990 or an 89 Civic hatch, like the square ones.
yeah, yeah,
Those
yeah,
are
yeah.
those are my favorite Civic. Or the Wago van. I don't know if you've seen the Wago van.
CRX, CRX.
CRXs are all right, but
If you could find one, usually they're all cut up or rusted to shit. At
yeah, they're
least
pretty
here.
rough. They're pretty rough when you do find them. They're definitely cut up here. Maybe not so much rusted, but uh the what was I gonna say? Oh, so speaking of four doors, well, one thing is most guys that are going to be into a car like that are going to be our age and they might have a family, so a four door might not be bad.
Yeah, true
Uh,
story.
And then two, the guy that came and bought the motor out of my Civic, so I put the motor up on a Friday night on Marketplace, still in my car. Like I drove it to work Friday, took a video of it running, put it on Marketplace. That night, I had like 20 people message trying to buy it. I was like, oh, apparently I underpriced this because I was like, it needs a head gasket minimum. Like, okay. And I put a video of it running
And
and I put it for $250 because I was like, you're just buying a 5 speed transmission and an ECU. Like the motor's just extra, kind of. So then a guy came the next day. He's like, "Can I come and get it?" And I was like, "I haven't even pulled this thing out." And then I was like looking at it, and I was like, "Well, I guess I have some time." So I pulled it out.
still gotta go to the store with it.
Yeah. So he came, but he was telling me that apparently people either like the hatches or the four doors if they're actually into them, because he said that the four door is actually lighter than the coupe. I don't understand it, and I'm not saying I believe him.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. There's more parts.
More
There's more.
windows.
There's more parts. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But
I'm gonna give it a
you can't
Google.
tell me a Civic quarter panel weighs more than a door and a quarter panel. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. There's internal parts, glass, all kinds of shit. Honda people, man. Honda people.
He told me a bunch of weird stuff. He was trying to tell me that this big YouTuber that I know uh, works at Publix, which is the grocery store.
Sounds like
It's,
this guy's full of good information.
it turns out somebody from that helps them out works at Publix, the grocery store. But like, I don't know. I don't know. Is Honda people.
Well, I think you got to take it with a grain of salt. Like the guy was wanting to buy a $250, you know, motor that
True.
was for transom setup. So it's, yeah, some of it's like, yeah,
Wait,
people, man.
is wait.
Wait,
The internet says a sedan weighs 2343 to 2467 and the coupe weighs 2456 to 2493. It's saying it's like 50 to 30 pounds lighter.
I mean, if it's 50 pounds, you think that's, I mean, I would still be buying a coupe. Mhm. That's just
Oh,
me.
pardon the interruption, folks. My scrap guy told me that he would come today, and I said, let me know a time. And his way of letting me know was calling me and saying, I'm outside.
Yeah, that happens. It says by appointment only on the door here. And there's people that just show up all the time expecting me to be here all the time, even like after hours, weekends. When you're
Yeah.
not there, well, I'm here now,
You don't,
right
you don't,
now.
you don't live in the shop?
Or like sometimes lunchtime, they're like, well, you don't eat your lunch at your shop. Sometimes I do. Probably. Usually I don't. I live like 3 minutes away. Pretty easy peasy.
Yeah. I liked the negotiation technique. So my scrap guy, his dad was buying my old refrigerator. He goes, what do you want for it on the phone? And I said, give me 25 bucks. I don't care. And he goes, I'll give you 50. And then they show up and his dad goes, will you take 40 for it? I just laughed, and then he gave me $50.
Man. Oh yeah.
That's life.
What do you? Yeah.
So on the subject of Fast and Furious and Need
Oh,
for Speed and kitty stuff, did you ever have like thoughts of being doing a tuner car?
yeah. When I was in high school, that's all I wanted. I wanted to. I want an Acura Integra. I got one bought out from underneath me, like the early ones with the big wide headlights.
Hmm,
I got one of those bought out from underneath me by some other dickhead in high school.
son of a gun.
I just wanted, I really, really wanted the round headlight Acura Integra. You know, that to me, that was like, that's a pretty rad car. It still is. If you could find one that was like cherry, I'm sure it's quite a bit of money, I would suspect.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, it's not like buying, a muscle car, but it's
but
definitely
I'm sure that nice and clean and I'm sure it's 10, 15 grand
oh, probably.
to the right person, you know. Anyway, but
I
yeah, I definitely was in that realm, you know. I never really to me my because my dad was a GM mechanic, it was never up until very recently we bought a Ford and now I'm like really dabbling my toes into the non-American market, hopefully soon. I mean, it'll be soon, whether it happens this week or next month or this spring for sure. But I've just never had the confidence in like buying a foreign vehicle because it was always like, you better buy GM. That's the American way. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. Now everybody's driving a fucking Kia.
Everybody's driving a Kia or a Hyundai now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I like the tuner cars, but I never wanted front wheel drive. I did have an Integra, a flip headlight one back in the day for like a cheap beater. It didn't have fourth gear, so you'd shift like one, two, three, five. Uh,
nice.
but it was a $600 car that I bought in Milwaukee and drove all back to Wausau. So it was like it's like a 3 hour drive with a $600 car in the wintertime. No radio, but
It's weird. But when we just got our license, that's kind of you could do that. You could buy
oh
a.
yeah,
I mean, bought a $50 car.
yeah. I bought a $50 Fiero once, and
Fucking
then
awesome.
sold the wheels for $50 or $75 immediately, and then like I just kept part because I wanted the motor out of it, and then I sold the good parts and then scrapped it, and all I did was make money on that deal. But
Nice.
it's hard to do that now. Now, what I would think
Over-
is a
Oh,
thousand
sorry.
dollar
Go ahead.
car is $2,500 car, $5,000 car.
5,000, dude. Yeah, you can't buy. Huh. That's why $10,000 car is nothing nowadays. I mean, if you want something that's gonna last you a year, you better be spending more than 10 grand, unless you're getting lucky. I mean, especially up here with all the rust and stuff, it's you're buying rusty junk if it's under 10 grand, you know.
Yeah. So it looks like you got some more roof panels built on your car behind you.
Yeah, I got the last piece, the drive passenger A pillar piece made. Uh, so I just got to start welding the side pieces together, make them one, and then install them to the car, and then install the roof skin. So I still got enough stuff to do. It's just now it's figuring out another day that I can start tackling some stuff on it. But me and Tammy yesterday came here and we did a purge on the bench and my toolbox. And it's one of those things where you keep like all your little grinding wheels and all stuff. You keep the small ones, and you know what I'm saying. I had a
Yeah.
whole drawer. It was like
Oh yeah.
like the garbage is only full. Like it's only got like 10 inches of stuff in it, but some of it, like the majority of it's like old rusty nuts and bolts. So it's like ultra
Um,
heavy. We threw
do you think
a lot of shit.
that do you think some of that comes from that body shop we worked at where they would check the sandpaper in the garbage and make sure you didn't throw it out without using it enough?
Oh yeah, that. So I don't know how to bridge to this. This car here, right here, was bought from that guy,
Oh.
and he's like, yeah, I really didn't know. The customer's like, yeah, I really didn't know too much about him at the time. I said, well, you know about him now, right? And he's like, Okay, good.
Sounds like they got a good
Yeah.
one though.
I mean, it's an Arizona car. I didn't really. It's honestly the nicest car. The nicest Mustang I've ever turned a wrench on for sure. It's like the hardest part about it was getting the door glass. There's screws that attach the door glass to the door regulator or the window regulator, um, and there's like tiny little screws, and those are the only things that I couldn't turn out. So I just had to take it apart the hard way, basically, with trying to slide the track out. It doesn't work well, but you can get them apart. Putting them together, that's not the way you want to put them together by any means. But
Yeah. Sometimes that's not so much the condition of the car as it is possibly somebody worked on it or how it was
yeah,
assembled.
the driver's side had damage down the one side, and that's I believe they must have damaged down the driver's side of the car, and then just decided to paint the whole thing white,
Oh,
like
you
for
said
some
it was
reason.
red or something, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a burgundy or maroon-ish color. Somebody
Nice.
painted it white. It's like yeah, it's the paint on the seat or the seat brackets, the risers or whatever. There's like good paint on them. Like there's chalk marks, there's stampings on the backside of the fenders, like the stencil stamp kind of a thing that looks like a part number.
Yep.
It's like so it's really like the customer doesn't really care about originality. He just wanted a nice car that he didn't have to do a bunch of rust repair to, which is pretty awesome. Um, but I'm like nerding out a little bit because I've done pretty hardcore restorations, like legit restorations as far as like overspray and all that BS. So I'm like kind of showing him all this stuff, and he's just like, "Yeah, I don't care." It's pretty funny.
Well, I'm sure he likes that you're geeking out over it.
Yeah, he was just happy to hear that as a nice car as was sold to him as.
Right.
Because once he got it delivered to him, he's kind of disappointed in it apparently. So at least I mean, even the bottom corners of the doors, usually there's always a little bit of rot in that one corner of the door, the front corner of the doors, and
Yep.
there's like, it's just not there. Like, it's a
Desert.
nice car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that my buddy has a customer that bought a SS 396 69 Camaro. Bought it online or from an auction or something. Gets the car delivered, drives it around the block and immediately goes, "This thing is terrible." Took it to my friend because he's like, it didn't drive good, it didn't
Sure.
stop good. He's like, "This thing
Sure.
sucks." But he took it right to my friend's shop and had him do like all Willwood brakes and back onto
Sure.
Willwood, all Willwood brakes and all sorts of new stuff on it. I think they're doing a vintage air in it and things like that. I don't. He told me that the build just escalated again, a large dollar amount, several tens of
Dude,
thousands.
if
But
you could buy all that stuff, installing it that's by far the most expensive part is in getting the stuff working with your vehicle.
yeah,
Uh,
he had the inner fender out when I was there because they were working on the putting the vintage air setup in it, and you couldn't tell because like off the firewall's that big where your evaporator or whatever, where your air conditioning and your blower motor and stuff is on the inside of or off the firewall where it comes out. I can't
yeah,
think of the word for that, but whatever.
it's
Um,
kind of a deal.
and they took the inner fender out to access it, and right under it, somebody must have at some point wanted to access it without taking the inner fender out, so they cut a square out of the inner fender and then
Nice.
boogered it up with a MIG welder. So they took it
Nice.
out, and then out under the like evap setup, there was all these MIG wires sticking through like it's growing grass. But you couldn't see it when the car's assembled, but then they
That's fun.
mudded up the inside of the inner fender and
Oh
spray
yeah,
painted it black.
that shit happens all the time, man.
Oh yeah. I can't say
Oh
I
my god.
haven't done something like that in the past, but I try to
I mean,
not do it again.
we've all been told to do things at places that we worked at. I mean, it's not like it was up to us. It was like if you want a job, this is what you're gonna do. I mean,
Yep.
that's that that in a certain degree is why I started my own business. Not saying that all places are like that, but just having control over the repairs and making sure things are getting translated to the customers properly. And that you and the customer are on the same page because I worked at places where you're definitely not,
Yeah.
whether that's the customer's fault or the place, the place it's getting repaired at. It's sometimes it's the customer's fault. They just can't get the words out of his mouth to make, it's just sometimes just spending time with people and understanding like their language because
Oh yeah.
sometimes you don't, you got to really pull it out of them. Some people like, sometimes I ask, what are you going to do with the car? And they're like, well, drive it. I'm like, well, yeah, obviously drive it, but are you going to take it to a show? Are you going to is it just going to sit in the garage? Are we doing this car perfect for you? Are we doing this car perfect for the world? Like, is it going to be compared to things? Do you care? Like it's all,
Right.
you're just a hired person working on the car. Just want to make sure you're on the same page, spending their money wisely.
Yeah, and you got to make
Right.
sure to paying customers don't get put on the back burner and then perpetuate the paint jail thing.
Yeah, I mean, some of that is some of it is you can't rush paint either. So
Oh yeah.
if you're rushing if you're rushing a paint job, you can say paint jail. I mean, we've talked about it before. It's not like I'm gonna get all worked up about it, but it's like it also needs to, but it needs to. If you're rushing through body work and rushing through the priming process and getting everything straight, and then you're gonna throw a paint job on it quick, shit's gonna not look good. I mean, it's just plain and simple. If you're rushing through it, there's not a restorations aren't a thing to rush through. So if you're not, I mean, when I say sometimes paint jail is years and years and years just to get something painted.
Right.
Now, body work, digging into a car. I think when people say paint jail, people are digging into a car, finding stuff they didn't think they were going to find, like you just said. Now we have to repair this inner wheel liner or whatever, get a different one and fit that. So it's like, it's not just paint. Like it almost is never just paint. Like almost never, you
I
know?
think I don't think the stigma comes from the length it takes to do the work. I think the stigma comes from there's a lot of shops that when they do um, custom work or it's a regular body shop and then when they have a couple custom jobs come in, they kind of whether they don't have somebody to do it properly or
Uh,
somebody's mismanaging time and money, they just sit in the back corner. Everybody's been to a body shop where there's a car that's been sitting in the back corner for years. And I'm not saying sometimes it's not the customers not paying what they need to, but I just think that that's more.
Sometimes it is.
I think everybody understands that there is a long process to body work and paint, and I think that's why there's less and less good body shops and paint shops. And there's the obviously you're well aware that sometimes it is on the customer to keep the train rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think up until somewhat recently, when I say recently, like 5 to 10 years, I don't think there were a lot of shops that were, when a customer comes in and says, a ballpark me, they're like, well, it can be, in this ballpark if we don't do sheet metal repair. But if you take your car apart and you need quarter panels and doors and fenders, it's going to be this big. It's like, how do you prepare somebody for potentially spending $100,000 on a car that's worth 30? Because sometimes that is what people are asking for, you
Oh yeah.
know, definitely. So it's and if the car's not like I say naked, like in bare metal, you don't know what you're going to be repairing. It's virtually impossible to quote. So
Yeah. My buddy's shop, they're doing a Supra for a big YouTuber, and it's like a rare, really rare fourth generation Toyota Supra, and the guy bought it online auction. There's videos on it.
sure,
The guy bought it on online auction. I think I don't know if it was a Haggerty auction. I think it was a Haggerty auction, but
sure.
um, you know, I think it was like 70,000 miles. Super rare options. It's not even on some of the registries like that car. Um, but he gets it and it's had at least two like Mako paint jobs on it. Like didn't pull the mirrors, you know what I mean? Just painted around the handles and stuff like that.
Yep.
There's paint on the exhaust, paint on like the everything up under the fenders.
Well, that's got to be a spendy car when it's all put together, huh?
Oh yeah, and I think he paid pretty good money for it, so it's kind of sucked. But
Sure.
it doesn't. I mean, It's still a nice car, but now my friend basically it he saw pictures of it and it came to him and he goes, "We're just stripping this car."
Yeah,
So they just took it to bare metal and yeah, they found two full paint jobs on top of the factory paint. And they didn't think the jams were painted, but uh so they put epoxy or whatever on the quarters and stuff like that and had the jams taped off. And then they were just gonna like just feather it in. And he pulled the tape after priming and it pulled paint off the jams down to the factory paint because apparently they painted the jams. I think what they did is they went in that first lip that the weather strip sits in.
sure.
That's pretty common. They went in there, but
Yeah,
they didn't prep it.
yeah. Oh yeah,
So then he's
that
like, "Well, I
sounds
guess
real.
we're stripping the jams too."
I worked on a car or on a '65 Chevy truck uh, that was bought at an auction, and there was like paint flaking in the. It was a painted box, or all the paint inside the box was like as nice as the outside, as nice as the outside, uh, and there was like some paint flaking in the box, and the customer wanted it redone, so they brought it in, and we started sanding it down, and like start blowing on and blowing it off, and it's like coming off in sheets. Like they didn't prep the inside of it. Somebody repainted the inside of the box, and no prep. Like so, it was actually hard to. We were like taking tape and like putting it on our shirts to like you know lessen the
Oh yeah, yeah.
adhesive.
Yep.
Because anywhere you put tape was pulling. Like I think the outside would have done the same thing. Like we were having, it was getting close to the outside panels to where it was like getting really scary. Then you're repainting. Where does it stop at that point? Where do you
Yeah.
stop fixing?
I
Yeah,
do
that was
the
pretty
shirt
scary.
technique with tape when I'm painting like multiple layers or base coat on top of base coat and I have to mask. So if I'm like laying
Mhm.
stuff out, I'll sometimes if the tape's got real strong adhesive do that. The old t-shirt.
I had a I had a guy tell me a good idea when you're doing multiple colors. Uh, Instead of when you have, let's say you're doing a stripe and you have your base color masked off and you're doing this stripe and it's going to be red or whatever. Before you have everything taped off, everything's super tight. Before you put red in the gun, put like a clear base, DBC 500 or whatever. Put a
Yeah.
clear base down because then when you pull the line, there's no bled color. I was like, oh, that's really cool because it's already bridged and it's clear, so there's no bleeding at all.
Yep.
You pull the line and it's fucking tight color. It's really good tip. I've never heard that before.
Yep.
I'm not a
Um
custom painter though, so
yeah, I learned some of that from some of the guys that thankfully the first body shop I worked at, there was like a one guy that did a lot of airbrushing and then he did like a lot of Harley stuff, so he had a pretty good handle on it and every time I
sure.
worked in a shop I'd try to latch on to like the most experienced guy and help him out with everything and try to soak up as much as
Well, as
possible.
much as you can. Hell yeah, that's all I've ever done.
Yeah, so that worked out good. But yeah, they would do that, especially like on airbrushing because like some of the airbrush stuff you'd airbrush a layer and then like he was doing the True Fire stuff
Sure.
like Mike LaValle, the huge, that was a big fad for a while. I want to say I like doing it. I don't know that I'd want it on something of mine, but
Yeah, I would. I think it's cool and it has its place. Whatever. Yeah,
yeah,
for
but
sure.
he'd airbrush a layer of flames and then do like candy mixed with that DBC 500 and then
Mhm.
let that dry out real good because it just make it so much easier to lay layer on top of layer
Mhm.
with
You're
that
you're
than
protecting
doing.
your work too,
Yeah. Yeah, it like seals one thing off so you can do another one.
and then you can even do cleanup on it because that's a clear layer.
Yeah.
That's the nice part.
Yep.
I haven't done any I haven't done any custom paint stuff in a long time. I don't know that I even care to. Some of it's just like it's so time consuming, you know.
Yeah.
I have so much other shit to do.
Yeah. Uh, my buddy and I laugh because he's like, like the high end stuff he does is all like hand wet sanded down to like 5,000 grit. And then you just touch it with the buffer and it's shining. And I'm like, I just don't care to be doing those kind of jobs. Like, there just doesn't, like, it's cool. And when I see it, I'm like, that's really nice. But like, as far as my interest as a painter, I just I don't get off on painting a black car and then wet sanding it down to 5,000 grit so it's like pure glass because
Yeah, I mean that's all just part of the process of making a car nice. That to
yeah,
me, I'd have never. I don't know if it's unique to me or just. I'm sure a lot of people have a similar story, but I was inundated into the restoration really early, so that's some of that is just that's just what I know. Like that's
right.
everything's got to be wet sanded, everything's got to be 3,000. I don't have 5,000 here because depending on the car, this black car will definitely use 5,000 on. But yeah, 5,000, and you're spending a week and a half, 2 weeks on making that car shiny,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know, and it be shiny. So.
it's worth it and I understand. I just don't have interest in that kind of car.
Oh, so those guys that do, I mean, I want to do this Mustang, 66 Mustang. We're probably going to go like actually blocking the clear to a certain extent, um, which gets scary. There's guys that start with 600 and, it's flat. They're using the same blocks that they use to block the car out as they are blocking the clear out. I mean, that's that's an avenue we're going to be going down, but it's, replicating minimal orange peel or just making it flat is one thing, but making it like bodywork flat, that's that's a lot of when you're putting 4 or 5 foot of clear on, you almost have to block it because the material unevenness and thickness.
Right.
So yeah, it's cool. I think it's be cool to do a quarter panel, and then after that, you're like, oh, I got to do the rest of the car.
Yeah, I admire it. I admire it. I just would rather
Mhm.
go do something fun and wild and then have somebody take it out and whack into stuff with it and then do another one.
That's all just part of it. It's all just part of. I mean, it's no different than somebody spending time to make brake lines look nice. Same
I
thing.
like that. I like
It's the
that a
same
lot.
thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. I mean, there's guys where on that Roadster Shop podcast, Oil and Whiskey, they were talking about um, getting judgy at car shows, and like the one guy is saying, "Well, I think it's bullshit if the guy's not cutting and buffing the jams." I'm like, "Fucking what now?" Like, oh, we're flat sanding and buffing the jams? Like, oh, like yeah, I guess
I
you
can
want
see
the car
nibbing.
that bad. Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. Like, yeah, if there's some nibs in it, maybe they're like, no, they're no orange peel. Yeah. So you want to
I
talk
don't know.
about nuts? That's nuts.
I mean, I could see it for like Kin Dig It or something like that, you know? I can see it for those kind
Well,
of
his
style.
his argument was if you're going to take something to SEMA and you have time, do it. It's like, well, if you're going to go out there and try and make waves, it's gonna it be it if you want to like flex in every direction, yeah, wet sand the all the paint, you know. So I
Yeah.
get it, but it's still a lot. I can't imagine doing it. I mean, I can imagine it, and sounds like a pain in the ass.
Like a
Can you
big pain.
imagine all those little corners? Oh, yeah.
Your fingers would be so smooth by the
You have
end
to
of it.
get one of those like tiny like inch inch wheel buffer kind of those tiny little guys like
Oh
those
yeah.
like dentist shit. I don't have any of those tiny ones. God, that sounds like a bunch of fucking around. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Work on more stuff. I got to work on the firewall for that 58 Chevy truck this next week. I got to get some steel and start fabbing the firewall. So that'll be pretty fun. Working on the power hammer, that'd be a good time.
You decided to just build one instead of buying something?
Yeah, I think if you'd be end up if you bought something, you'd end up cutting it up enough to where it's like you just might as well. I have the shit here to do it. That's kind of my jam. So it's stuff like it'd be easier to just make it, especially with the all the things that are happening with it. It's not like there's a lot going on because it's a pickup truck and there's definitely enough room, but with the engine being moved back a little bit, any farther back, and it would be getting into the firewall would be pushed into making your fuel pedal fit weird and stuff like that. So, it's definitely, it's still, there's only like it's one spot it can really be. So I think ordering something, you just be, I don't know. I don't know where you would order it from. The ones that would come in the car, in the truck, that when you order them, if there's an option to have a recessed firewall and it's just a bent, like a broke panel, like just one
Mm,
bend in, one bend out. It's very like we'll actually make it blend in with the rest of the cab, so it'll look cooler than their recessed firewall cabs.
right.
So should be all right. There's only a few other things left on that to figure out. There's I didn't know that some starters were clockable, that you can actually turn them. That was interesting. Got schooled got schooled on that. So it's tight to the header, but it's tight, but it'll work on the passenger side. But the driver's side, we still need the fuel pedal or the brake pedal comes down and hits the header, which I think I can move some stuff around and make that work. Not really too concerned about that. It's just like just at the end of the swing where it's like just hits. So I think I could space it over or bend that end of that pedal. I'm not sure. One or the other, or both. Who knows? We'll see.
Any more time blocked out to work on your car soon?
It's usually like, you know, I just don't want to work on anything else, and I just got a few hours and I'll work on it. So I don't have anything scheduled, like scheduled, but I definitely got to keep moving forward on it. Some of it's just having room, you know. Been blowing this Mustang apart. Worked on the '69 Mustang that's sitting next to my car, and that's have a lot of things. Going through our stuff yesterday, throwing all that shit away. It's kind of shit spread out back there. I think we're gonna get one more toolbox so we can have like my toolbox isn't just jam packed full of shit. That's kind of the way
Right.
it's been. So just gonna go down to the trusty Harbor Freight, pick up a cheap little toolbox.
Pink?
No, no pink.
Don't you have a pink one? Or didn't you say
No,
your wife got a pink
my
one?
wife's not a white one.
Oh, white. That's what it was.
Yeah, she's
That
got a
thing's
pink
wild.
Viper.
Oh,
Yeah, sassy.
that is sassy. You got to be
Mhm.
comfy.
I know. I kind of want to. She's got the one with a gas shock. Kind of want to buy one now. Sell this one and buy one with a gas shock. It's so much nicer sitting down. Just like that little bit of, you know, catching you, that little bounce. Ah, it's so nice. Yeah, we'll see.
Who doesn't
They
love that
come up
little
with like,
bounce?
yeah. Oh, you're so funny. Ah, so what's up? So you jumped that truck anymore? What's going on?
My son had some friends over for his birthday last weekend, and we brought the jumps out for them to play with on the four wheeler, and I definitely smashed it with the truck before. I hit it pretty fast, and it definitely I didn't video it. I was just driving because I've hit the jump so many times. I was just kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
But I mashed it and definitely had more hang time. I felt the suspension drop and then just like squoosh, and then it like came back up, and it was one of those
Nice.
landings where you got to give it a second before you try steering. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I felt it just the
No,
whole truck goes go, ooh, and then I was like back on the road. Okay.
nice.
It was good.
Nice.
It felt good. I sent you videos of jumping that Accord. That was something. I took the motor out, and it was all covered in sand and shells and stuff like that. Because for filler in Florida, they use shell rock because we don't have like granite, so we don't have gravel or whatever. So they just do these mines, and they get like ancient coral reefs that they dig up from underground, and they're just like it's like limestone and shells. So it's called shell rock. So like along our road edge, you can just like pick seashells up, and like
Weird.
in the pavement, there's seashells. Yeah, he sells, she sells by the seashore. But So yeah, the top of the transmission and like the front of the engine was all just like covered in sand and stuff. I was like, who got this motor all dirty? Because it's just chiefing the ground on the land.
So do they make like motor mount kits just like for that swap?
They do, but I just got into that yesterday because the motor was the front crank seal on the timing cover, like right behind the harmonic balancer, is leaky. So I ordered a new one. And by the way, Honda crank seal. Like I went online to buy one. A Honda OEM replacement off of eBay was $11.
I don't know. I don't know if we can swing it.
I was like, why would I buy something for O'Reilly when the Honda one's $11? But so the motor was just like it had been leaking, seeping oil out of there, and then the balancer was throwing it into the belts, and it was just all over everything. So I pressure washed it off yesterday and got it all cleaned up and started messing with the motor mount placement. And I need to swap. So apparently, most of the motor mounts are made for somebody who's getting a transmission out of an RSX or a Civic Si. Okay, which that transmission's super expensive. I got an Accord 5-speed, so it's it has slightly different mounting. So one of the mounts works good, and then the rear mount, which normally would bolt to the bell housing on an RSX or a Civic Si transmission, isn't there. The bell housing doesn't have that shape there, so I have to modify one bracket, which whatever. I just gotta make some steel tabs and so it bolts on, and then the transmission bracket because there's one on like the front of the motor, one on the back, like by the header kind of where the bell housing and the training meet, and then there's one on the opposite side of the motor, and only one of those is the direct bolt on right now. So a little modification, but you order
One's better than none, dude.
yeah, some
At least you got
location.
somewhere to be like, well, this is where the motor goes, you know?
Yep. Yeah, and the other one it's um I looked at a bunch online and it's going to be super easy to get it located and then I just got to weld the other tabs to it. So I'll have
Sure.
2 out of 3 and then I just have to build a bracket that bolts to my transmission for the motor mount on the other side and that should be
Do you have
fairly
to
easy.
do custom axles?
I did have to get swap axles. So but on eBay, yeah, I think it was like $150 for a pair of
Oh,
CVs that pop in and then they fit my hubs supposedly.
very interesting. It's all cheap stuff. It's pretty fun. It's kind
It
of
is
cool. You
fun.
throw, have a list of parts for like under $500.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
sweet.
nuts. Usually one part's $500 in this world anyway.
Yeah, I started doing the build and I was looking at the budget and I was like, I think if I squeeze it, I can do this whole thing with the purchase of the donor car for $1,000. So I
That's
decided to do
crazy.
the YouTube series of like cheapest K24 swap possible under 100 or under $1,000. And I'm gonna try to do that. And I bought some dress up parts that I didn't need or whatever. And I'm gonna powder
Sure.
coat the valve cover and whatever because it's a little funny. And while I've got it off to replace the valve cover gasket, I'm just gonna powder coat it. Um, but I think I can actually get this whole thing in and drivable for about $1,000 total.
That's a lot of fucking around.
The wiring is going to be interesting, but like
That sounds like it.
I bought a harness that's supposed to kind of set it up, but it's not quite perfect, and there's a lot of that I think, but whatever.
That's scary. That'd be the hardest part for me. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to do some pinning on the ECU to match the body stuff, like the ignition switch, the fuel
Sure.
pump and things like that. I'll probably have to pin the plug into the ECU from the Civic, which isn't that hard, but it's just stuff to do. Stuff that nobody's gonna want to watch either. So like I'm not even gonna have to video it. I'm just gonna be like, yeah. So then I did this. Flash something on the screen and then carry on.
That's where I feel the last 2 weeks has been for my life. Like, yeah, some of it, like a picture looks neat. Some of the rest, the reality is not so cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean the culmination of my truck build series in one video was 6 minutes, and it was a year of building a truck. So,
Yeah.
but
I guess if the show overhauling was over the course of a year, it wouldn't work.
right,
Yeah, June, dude.
I don't have too much more
Yeah,
interesting stuff. What about you?
I don't know. Just it's nice out, so there's like cars driving. It's like when I say nice out, it hit 50.
Ooh,
So there's like crotch rockets out, Harleys, Corvettes, fucking everything, dude.
jumping the
Yeah.
gun a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody's got stuff out. Yeah. Which you just shake your fucking head. I seen like it looked like I don't know, it had taillights that went all the way across. It was like a 69 GTO body style, but it had a taillight panel that went all the way across. I don't know if that's like a Pontiac or something like that. I don't know. It just like went past me. It looked like it was shaped like a 69 GM car, but
Hmm.
yeah, it had taillights. So yeah, somebody's driving old cars yesterday too. Yeah.
I mean, they were here too, but
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's a lot of salt on the roads, man. The city of Marshfield was complaining to people like, if you're salting your driveway, make sure you don't put too much salt down because it affects the water supply. Like, you stop at every intersection and there are just piles of salt everywhere. I think it's you guys. Yeah. Look, the roads are like wet today and they kind of just look, it's not for, it's, I don't know. It's pretty nice out. It's hasn't been this nice since fucking October, I think. I don't know.
go soak up some sun.
Yeah, it's decent out. It's sunny out right now. It's pretty nice out. What does it say? 50? No way. That thing says 58 degrees. It must be somewhat in the sun. That's nuts. That's not normal. Also, it's gonna shitstorm in 2 days. It's gonna snow like 5 inches or something. So
Yep,
it'll all be gone.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go and pull some stuff and try to paint an engine bay, scuff and paint an
Yeah.
engine bay.
Yeah, that's no fun. I don't like painting engine bays. I don't like
Mm-mm.
taping off shit in engine bays. If a customer's like, yeah, I know it's going to take forever and tape it off. If I can get comfortable in an engine bay, like physically sitting there, I'll tape forever. That's fine, but it does suck.
Yeah, I'm gonna like do one apron. I'm gonna like unbolt everything from it, pull it in, and then paint it up, and then lay it all back in, and then do the firewall, and then the other apron. Just see how it goes.
Usually easier said than done, though. It's
Oh
usually
yeah,
like, yeah, I'll just pull everything back. Well, yeah, we're still not going to move the brake lines, and you got to tape them off, and you don't want to get them covered in paint, so you got to tape that. It's just like, oh my god.
I'm trying to
It's like,
decide if
well,
I'm deleting AB. I want to delete my ABS, but I haven't felt like enough stuck into it to crack the lines loose and then commit to having to replumb.
yeah, that's just a whole nother fucking thing. You might as well, Jesus, full build here.
Oh, dude.
I
So
think you might as well. I think you should just put on a rotisserie and be done with it.
it's a rotisserie four-door Civic. Um,
I think that's
I this morning I went out there to look at or yesterday I went out there to look at the motor mounts to make sure that the ones on the car side fit, and they do. But when I opened the hood and like the big whoosh of opening the hood, clear coat flew off the hood from the driveway paint job the guy I bought it from did.
nice.
My snakeskin paint job. That's what I call it. It's just shedding a layer.
That's funny.
So I'm gonna pressure wash the car before I attempt sanding it because I figure I'll save a lot of sandpaper doing that.
Yeah, probably. Probably. I know they
But
make stick uh, razor blades.
oh yeah,
Sometimes that works, but sometimes a razor blade works really good if you hold it right,
oh
shave
yeah,
that shit right off.
yeah. I figure I'll pressure wash it and then just hit it with some 320 or 400 and go over the whole thing, body work it, prime it.
You're gonna body work the damn thing too?
Not
Jesus.
much, not much, not
Oh,
much. It's
I
actually
think you just
really pretty good.
cut the glass out, put it on the rotisserie.
Well, okay, so I speaking of tuner cars and back in the day, I always had 240 SXs. And I had several of the 89 and 90, I think it was 2 year only, that are they call them
Those
pig. They have the flip headlight and they call them a pig nose. They had like
okay,
this kind of plain bumper for the first years that nobody likes. And I saw a picture of a pig nose and I was like, "Oh man, you just don't see those ever." And I was like, maybe that's going to be my old man driving my high school car
sure,
because I had several of them and I loved them and they're like rear wheel drive and they're like kind of cheap. Like
sure.
the price has gone up on them like everything else. Even the Civic prices are crazy, but um I'm kind of thinking that I build the Civic, and because I'm of the YouTube realm, the builds keeping builds going is good for my channel. So I think what I'm going to do is try to build the Civic, put it put it up for sale for, decent money.
Sure.
With the motor swap that I'm putting in it, for whatever reason, I can do this swap for $1,000. I'll have more in it than that with all the goodies I want to do and cleaning it up and making the engine bay look nice. And I'm going to relocate the battery in the back. So when you pop the hood, it's just like, you know, just the jewel in the middle of the case. But
Oh man,
I'm going to paint it
I'm,
up
think,
and I'm going to have fun with it. But
I'm thinking full roll cage.
I think in reality, I should be able to get 7 grand easy for it.
Yeah, I would think so.
But I think what I'll do is I'll get it done and I'll put it up for something like 10 grand, and I'll just drive it around and have fun with it. And then if I can get money for it, I'm going to try to work my way to buying my high school style pig nose 240SX and then doing a really clean one of those. Probably
Sure.
swap the motor because the motor kind of sucked. Um, but do like a really nice paint job on one and a really nice set of wheels and get some nice coilovers and just get it sit right and just have like a sweet, really clean driver of my high school car.
Yeah. And then what? Do some crazy motor swap in it?
No, and then just start building stuff and say it's for my kid.
Right. No, 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 no. This is for my kid.
This is for my kid. Yeah. Well, my wife really liked those 240 SXs too, and she drove around in mine, and we had like I drove one to my wedding. Um, so she liked driving them a lot. So it's kind of like it would be a fun car for her or I to take to work every once in a while or bomb around on the weekend. Or you just do not see a clean one with a pig nose bumper. People either throw a body kit bumper on it or they want the later years. And I think it's kind of almost Ford Proby, the front end of the pig nose. It's very
Oh, okay.
simple. It's very
I,
simple.
yeah. I mean, I don't think they look that bad at all.
No, they look fine, but it's just everybody wants to look like full on Super Street Magazine or full drift
Yeah.
car. And I just think it'd be pretty wild to do like an ultra clean, even if it was like white, just like,
Sure.
a wet sanded paint job.
Like this.
Like this. I use 2 fingers on the sandpaper and I push really hard.
That's one way to do it. One way to do it. And it all depends on what you're looking for. Because like some of those paint jobs, you would leave orange peel. Well, we would leave some orange peel. You're trying to leave some of the orange peel to show originality to a certain extent on
Right.
restoration. So some of that stuff's like you got to spray it terrible enough to wet sand. You know what I'm saying though? You have to spray it. You can't
Yeah,
spray
yeah.
it like
You gotta have it thick so it doesn't flow out
especially
really good.
want to flow a hood out, but when you're done wet sanding it, it's flat. So you got to leave some shit in it, some peel. Yeah.
For a driver, I have always been a fan of just like a really flowed out of the gun paint job because they catch a lot of because it has this slight wetness to it. It catches more light. It seems like to me, and then
Different. It depends on the clear and then the surface. Uh, if you, it really depends on the clear because once and your base coat application because if your base coat application isn't flat and smooth, your clear coat will soak into the roughness of
Oh
your
yeah.
base coat. And then after it'll look good right away, but then you get it out in the sun and once it shrinks up, because they inevitably do. Um, then you see like it looks porous almost. Like it can be you can flat sand it even right if you flat sand it right away or too soon and let it sit out, it'll almost appear porous. Like there's a texture in the flatness. Like it's flat, but there's a texture in it almost because
Yeah.
it's soaking in to the base coat and stuff. So get back to paint jail. Sometimes I mean that shit's got a cure, you know.
Yeah, I remember you priming cars and pushing them out in the sun. I mean, or cutting it open and then putting it out in the sun.
Yeah, some of it's just breaking the surface open just for the gases to start coming out of everything. So the next morning after you're priming something, you're coming in scuffing it with a red scuff pad just so it can start curing faster.
Yep. And all the way.
But we use the urethane primer at as a final primer at that restoration place that we worked at together. We don't use urethane primer on restorations at all.
Right.
So we just use a hybrid epoxy. So it's a high build epoxy, which it works fantastic. It's hard, so you can start blocking it with like 180. Like even for paint,
Yep.
I'll start. You'll just get the tops of everything off with 180.
Yeah, my friend did that on that Supra. He did a
Sure,
coat of that and then he blocked it and then he did another coat of it and then or then they did body work and
sure,
then they did another coat so it's trapping
yeah.
the body work in it and then they yeah 180 and
Uh, yeah, having that same product top and bottom is like you have the most cohesive. Like it's all science experiment at the end, anyways.
right.
With this, so it's like the least amount of products you can use that you're going to have less problems potentially in the future.
I think he's using VP 2050 or something. I feel like that.
That's what we're using. Yeah,
Yep.
it's pretty sweet. So they make Zach, our buddy Zach. He sent me a picture Friday. They use the CRE version, which is black, but apparently it's the same stuff.
Hmm.
So there's like a industrial version of it that's black. This stuff's gray. I don't know why they don't. I would suspect it sands differently. That's probably with the pigments in it. It probably sands differently, black versus gray, to a certain extent. I don't know why they don't offer it in the restoration in the Vibrance line. So the VP 2050 is the Vibrance line, which is the woo woo, cool stuff, whatever.
Cool kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure the price is the same. It's actually very affordable in comparison to urethane primer. It's like a
Hmm.
third the cost of urethane primer.
That's cool.
Yeah, it sprays out nice. You can get it to actually like lay out and like this thing, this 38 Nash, like you can see like it has a reflection in it. Like that's just primer. So it's pretty
Yeah,
cool that
his did have a little
you're,
shine to it.
yeah.
Um,
The thing is that if you have you ever seen it mixed up?
I've
It's
watched
like
him in the video mix it up.
it's like heavy, like
Yeah,
thick.
yeah.
It's very thick, like
It's like
very, very thick.
yeah, it looked like he was mixing an International 670 HS, like with the
It
dark
wasn't,
binder.
it's not quite that, but it is I would suspect it's very close. I remember, this has been a long time since I've sprayed International 670, like
Good.
a long, long time. But it's the same thing where it's ultra heavy, it's high build, very dense, like thick. When you're mixing it up, you got your shoulder into it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, we usually hit the mixing bank, but then we're taking the gallon off the mixing bank and putting the drill on it just to make sure it's all shaken up because it's thick.
Thick.
Yeah, we spray gallons of it. It's pretty good stuff.
Nice.
I like.
Well, why don't you tell everybody where to find you online?
Find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Hungry Hollow Customs with a K and an S at the end. Where can they find you?
Find me everywhere. Terror Shark TV, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok,
Link.
Facebook. Not LinkedIn. Um, but yeah, keep fucking with cars.
Keep fucking with cars.
Okay, bye.